Hey there, so this is the Poco F4 GT. This is going to be an unboxing video, but to get it started, this is the box. You have here you have 12 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of ROM, and this one with the stealth black. And what comes inside is the mobile phone, an adapter, like the plug, USB-C cable, some eject tool, protective case, quick start, warranty card, safety information, Type-C to 3.5. So this does not have a headphone jack installed. The model number is 211-21210, 211-21210G. It's the Poco F4 GT. It's some beefy box, so we'll figure out all the specs as we go along, because right now, the unboxing, I'm as clueless as you are about this. Okay, black box, whatever, Poco logo, and then in here, we have our SIM tray tool, which is really tall, all of our usual crap, very poor made, probably like 30-cent 3.5mm jack, and this case. So as we can see here, it is a flagship 4nm Snapdragon HN1 liquid cool technology, 120Hz flat AMOLED display, 480 touch sampling rate, magnetic pop-up triggers, dual quad speakers, Dolby Atmos, and smart 120-watt hypercharged dual cell battery. So holy hell, this is amazing. So we have our pop-up triggers, where when they're like this, they work, and then when they're like this, as you can see, opens and closes on either side. That is awesome. Power button. Does this have a... Is this a fingerprint scanner, or is it in screen in this one? Holy hell, I'm just gonna find more information about this. So we have our L-shaped charger, which I've actually love about these phones, is you get an L-shaped USB-C, and then your standard, typical 120-watt power brick from Poco at this point. I say at this point because they throw the same one in every box, and damn, this is heavy for it. But so let's just turn this phone on. Comes with a screen protector in the box. Volume rocker is on. So I'm going to go through the phone itself. So you have an IR blaster, a noise canceling mic. I think this is dual speaker here. Then you have your pop-up trigger where on either side you have your power button right here. On the bottom you have another dual speaker, micro USB or USB-C, and your microphone. And then on this side you have your another mic, which actually says mic on it, volume up and down. And then you have your SIM tray, which is just SIM card. So you have 2 SIM slots, and that is about it for this. No SD card in this one. Disappointing. And we're going to continue going through, and we're just going to set this up, and then we'll see a bit more about it. Excuse me. I agree, I don't care. Skip this step. Next. Schwartz. I'm liking how this one is a bit more curved on the back than my Poco M4, my Redmi Note 11 Pro Plus 5G 120 watts is more or less flat, and this one is a bit more curved, although they have the same signature. So we're going to go next, connect to network, and then we're going to get our phone ready. Now, as this is getting itself ready, I want to talk about the Snapdragon HN1 that we have here. So it's the flagship chip that you will see right now, and basically inside of this device you will have a you'll have, like, with the gaming triggers, you'll actually have a fun device. So the gaming triggers are actually pretty cool because they go in, and it feels like a normal phone, and you have a volume rocker on other sides. And then, over here, when it pops up, you can press these in. And they feel really nice to press, actually. So you have a nice gaming phone when you want it, and a standard old regular phone when you don't need it. So, that's great. And I'll be right back once it's all set up for you guys. So, having used this phone for about, about 7 days now, about a week, after I did my setup that you can see here from the unboxing, I have some things that I like and some things that I actually dislike about this phone. So, there's a bunch of quirks here, like the side of this phone is a metal, the front is Gorilla Glass Victus, and the back is a Gorilla Glass 5, I believe it is. And the power button is built into this fingerprint. And then I have my whole setup of apps and other things right here. Now, what I do like about this phone, these magnetic triggers. So I was talking to the people in the Telegram group for the F4 GT, and they have actually said that their device has actually lasted with these magnetic pop-up triggers perfectly fine. It feels like the day that they got it, about a year and a half ago at this point, I believe. A year and a half ago at this point, I believe it was. And then you have your dual speakers, which to me it's dual with a boosted sound, so I wouldn't call them really quad speakers right now, but they technically are quad speakers. So you have 2 speakers on top, 2 on bottom. I think of that just to be that there are 2 speakers that are boosted a bit more. Maybe there are 4. We'll see in some sort of teardown from somebody. The fingerprint sensor, again, is a good sensor. So you click it, and it will unlock itself. Sadly, not in screen. It'd be nice if it was over here, but it is what it is. Now, magnetic pop triggers, I said, you press them down, they feel really nice to the press. They have some sort of tactile feedback. The microphone call quality and stuff is fine. 120 watt charging is excellent. And having this LED indicator in the back, let me go into my settings here, and you can see exactly what I am talking about. Here, it is actually supposed to work. So as you can see here, it is supposed to work with like 2 lights around the display, and I have mine set to like a pinkish red color. And apparently this case has already scratched the back of my phone. Then you have your cameras, which are alright. Microphone on here is great, volume rocker and stuff is good. And that's about it. Now the things I don't like about this phone. MIUI 13 with Android 12 has some weird quirks. You can put them in a bag of, when you open up Twitter, this is on all Android 12 phones right now. I had to turn off dark mode for me to even get a proper working thing. So if I go in here and I go into my display, into dark mode, as you can see, my notifications aren't bright at all. And then when I go into any app, let's say my news app, so you can, why isn't it showing the splash screen? So now it's not even working as, there, now it's working perfectly fine. What the heck? Now that's, why is that working fine right now? Settings. Always when I don't want it to work fine, it works fine. But the dark mode itself, I've had trouble with it, where if I go into more dark mode options, since it uses Google's dark mode, and I go like this, no matter what, even when I turn that off, it still stays dark like that, and it's hard to read my notification, which, as you can tell, is a bit brighter than the rest of the phone here, or a bit. It is a bit on the grayer side than the text should be, which is why I keep the light mode on, sadly, even though I don't want to, but I feel like I have to because of this. The other thing I don't like is when I'm going to lock my phone, sometimes I accidentally press the screenshot button. I take screenshots, so I have like a billion screenshots from my own phone in there. Another thing, use the Sony IMX686 sensor. So it doesn't have OIS built into it, only EIS from the phone itself, which is the camera down here. You have like your 3 cameras. It's the ultra wide, or the regular, ultra wide, and then a macro. But I'm not a fan of how you don't have a OIS in this phone, when I think this phone for speculated price should have OIS. It would be nice, but whatever. And then the other thing, with these magnetic pop-up triggers, I actually found it a bit easy. When I pulled the phone out of my pocket, I would notice this red dot here. And I would notice that the trigger was popped up, and there was nothing I could do about that. It was actually popped up. Like it was just there, popped up, opened, without me having to do anything. So I basically had to use a case to get around that. And then the other thing is the battery life sucks. I don't know what it is, but with every MIUI 13 device that I have gotten in, every single one of them so far have had downgraded battery life. On this phone alone, it uses a 4700 mAh battery. Dual cell battery, that shouldn't matter. Lots of phones are going dual cell right now. And for some reason, this phone gives me about 4.5 hours of battery life no matter what I do. Clean, install, everything. 4.5 hours of battery life that I know can be improved with a custom ROM, because I get 8 hours on a 4300 mAh battery on my Poco F4 with a custom ROM. So I know I'm getting a much better battery life out of custom ROMs. And now the cameras itself, as I said, it doesn't use OIS, it uses EIS. It could still be improved though, like the cameras are okay. If I go into my camera app and I just take a quick photo, like it doesn't look too bad. It looks, I would say, semi-true to life. So if I click on the photo itself and I zoom in, you have your clarity, like everything about this part looks clean. So you have that nice about it. You have your 2x zoom and then your 0.6, which are 2 times like a digital zoom because you have a macro camera instead. But if I go ahead and I cover the bottom camera, as you can tell, I'm covering the bottom camera. And that's the one that uses for the 2 times. It's still the bottom camera. And then the 0.6 is the middle camera, and then the macro is the top camera. Which to me, it's a cool function to have. I can zoom in on the textures of this desk mat here. It's cool. I actually like this camera system a bit, but I think that the cameras can be improved just a bit to make them more flagship level. But that's just a bunch of things with all the mid-range phones about the cameras. And yeah, everything about this phone so far I like, except the battery. I have to charge this thing 2 times a day, and I shouldn't have to charge this thing 2 times a day. The screen's vibrant, sound is great, charges 20 minutes to fully charged, game performance is fast, it uses a very, very good, cool 4,860 millimeters square dual vapor chamber, covering the screen on chip and the charging ICs separately. Combined surface area reaching 4,860 millimeters squared. 170% larger than the single VC found, the vapor chamber found in the Poco F4 GT. So what that means is during charging, all I feel about the phone is the heat coming off of it, because that's from the vapor chamber. Otherwise, it's about 40 C that I get 41 out of this, and then it goes back down. During gaming, this phone actually, I don't feel it getting hot. Now, I recommend, if you're going to complain about heat, I recommend not charging it while you game, even though you have this side charger cable, which is actually quite a long cable. But at the same time, still, I just recommend charging it halfway or whatever you want in about like 5 minutes, and then going on about playing games again. Yeah, but still, that's my main gripe. I can forgive the triggers out of accidentally opening up on me. They're fun to play with. I can forgive the cameras being close to flagship, but not like the highest spec, and still very, very good, I think. And I can, a couple of the other things like the MIUI 13 stuff, but I can't forgive for the battery life. I shouldn't I was out all day yesterday, and then I came home for lunch, and I had to deal with the cell phone needing to be charged. I went back out. I came back 4 hours later, and the cell phone had to be charged again. I woke up in the morning, the cell phone had to be charged. It went from about 40% down to 25. Like, it's quite a weird battery, to the point where I don't understand why the battery life is the way it is. It's my huge complaint about this, and I don't care. 20 minutes. Why are you complaining? A phone is supposed to last you all day battery life. Otherwise, I like the looks of this phone. I think it looks beautiful. Everything about this is great. The flash is very, very nice. Everything about this is great. Now, this is definitely a phone worth picking up. And if you did like this video, please rate, comment, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.